Falling leaves drift by my window. Autumn leaves of red and gold. I see your lips, summer kisses, sunburn hands. I used to
There's so many noises. Hey guys, welcome to another video on May in Bloom. I'm May and I talk about all things holistic living from a decolonial and sovereign perspective. But today I wanted to do a little hair update because we've officially reached the 5-year goalpost. I remember when I started my locks, I knew that I wanted to update, like I have a whole playlist basically on the 6th month, on the 1st year, on the 3rd year, and then the next goal was the 5th year. So we finally arrived here on the 21st of March this year. My hair had officially crossed over to the half a decade mark. I can't believe it, like time goes so fast. The other day I made a post on my Instagram and I was talking about how it has felt since the beginning of my lock and then to where I am today, but mostly like from not just my own perspective but from the world we live in. Like a lot has happened. I literally locked my hair during lockdowns. I wonder how many people locked their hair during the lockdowns, but I think it was something that I wanted to do for a long time, and that was the time where I felt like, you know what, let's go for it. I had gone through a huge shift in life. I had gone through what I would describe as my own Saturn return, and I was at a place where I really felt at peace. I felt like things were falling into place again. I felt like I was on the good side of the wave. I was ready to rise up from the life I had had before and all the ways it had changed and transformed me and all the things that were coming my way. And I was just really hopeful about the future despite the lockdowns, despite the pandemic. And for me, like locking my hair was always not just like because it's a style I like. I really like the style, and it's a style I had been researching for a while, but it was also something I did like from a holistic, also spiritual perspective. I felt like it was a phase of my life where I was really ready to explore something different and commit to the things I had learned, the ways I had shown up in life, the knowledge I had found, and be in a space of practice rather than just collecting. And all of those things together, like even when I had my full natural hair, those moments, like that journey itself, that was also 10 years. I had that 10 and so yeah, 10 and a few months I had my hair loose natural when I gave up relaxing it. And so I just always knew that, okay, after the 10th mark, I think I'm gonna lock my hair, and that's gonna welcome a whole new stage of my life. And I would really say that it has definitely done that. I think the last 5 years have been really amazing, life-changing, surprising, heartbreaking, resilient, but also like confidence building. It's not just about my hair, but also the person I've become. So for me, like that's also part of it. If we're going back just to the hair and all the things that I have grown into, things I have changed, or things I am realizing about my locks, of course it's grown in length. Last I shared with you guys, I was doing really minimalistic, holistic care. So for me, that means also it's not just about things I put on my hair, but it's also about what I eat, and it's also about like any part of your body. It's not a separate part of you. It lives in an ecosystem that is you. So caring for it, I think, is also part of like how you care for yourself. That's why like I always use my hair and my nails to check on how my inner body is doing, because I know like all of those things speak a more holistic report of health, right? Or they let you know when something is off. So my care is still very holistic, like meaning like, yeah, what I do internally or mentally as well, but also how I make sure that my hair is never overwhelming. Like, that has always been important to me, that I do the very minimum, not just from a place of neglecting it, but from a place of understanding that it actually thrives when I'm not doing too much. I learned that about my hair when my hair was loose. I just knew that I just had to keep that philosophy going. So I never do too much towards my hair. I wash, like I said, still that is consistent since the last update. I wash from a place of intuition, like when I see that my hair needs washing. Sometimes my hair dries out faster than other times, and I still do have a bit of like dandruff. I feel like it's getting better, and I have a theory. I think it's because of the oil I use for my scalp. It's still similar to the one I shared before, which is like I put olive oil in it, and then I put rosemary in it, and I put mint in it if I have that, and then a bit of castor oil, and that's what I usually use for my scalp. For the most part, I still also try to use mostly natural products, but because I also travel a lot, and sometimes I can't find exactly the product I used before, and you know, like with natural hair, like your hair likes certain things more than other things, and sometimes I just have to pick what is available. During our travels, I've had to do that sometimes, but usually I try to be in advance, maybe buy 2 of the same shampoo. But like I always say with most things, like try to live up to the way ideally you like to do things, but then leave 30% for sanity. You don't want to go crazy just because you want things a certain way. So that for me means like sometimes I just need to go at a normal supermarket and also buy Head and Shoulders. And I recently got one that actually is partially shampoo and partially conditioner, which actually is the first time that I have used a conditioner in my hair in 5 years. I usually just shampoo, I never do conditioner, but I have seen other people with locks that do condition their hair. When I started, like I learned a lot of the things, like I always repeat them, always repeat from Yanni the locologist. I think she has a lot of perspectives and philosophy on hair care that are very aligned with my own philosophies. It's very minimalistic, it's very anti-products in the sense, like, not that you should let your hair suffer. If your hair needs something and it's something that can help, definitely do it. But I like the philosophy that most of the times as Black women, we are oversold products, and there's a lot of things that our hair could thrive from that are very much more low maintenance and actually good for our sanity and also the health of our hair. So when I learned from her, I was really like trying my best not to put any, like, too many products. I don't use anything for my retwist. I just twist my hair when it's wet. But I really heard a lot of other things about, for example, conditioners, like, or even like people who put sprays in their locks and those things getting stuck. So I try my best not to overwhelm my hair for the most part. But this conditioner, I think I read too fast and I didn't see the conditioning part. So it's part shampoo, part conditioner. But actually, I think it might be the best compromise, because usually I try to buy organic and socially environmentally friendly products, especially if it's going to be on my body, on my skin, or I'm going to eat it. But this is my 30%, where like sometimes I use that and it does a good enough job, and I'm not gonna knock that out. So I'm still grateful for those moments where I can't find what I really wanted, but I can find that. And also it's usually something you can find everywhere and it's affordable. So, and another thing, before that one, I was trying out a new natural product, because again, I couldn't find the Udacam, which is the one I love the best. I was using another one that is a French organic shampoo, but it was so weak. That was not created for my kind of hair. Like, it was so frustrating to wash my hair with it, and I felt like it wasn't leathering enough. You know, like if you really want your locks to be really, really clean, like you maybe do like 2 or 3 shampoos, and there I felt like it was like not doing anything. But that goes to show that sometimes it's the generic ones that are going to actually give you exactly what, like, it's been used and proven. I'm very sensitive to smells, and also even just for our female health, it's important not to overwhelm your body and system with a lot of perfumes and chemicals. So I try to be mindful of that. So I will say that this Head and Shoulder does have a bit, but it's faint enough that it doesn't feel too overwhelming. I've become more liberal in that way. Like, I'm using different shampoos when I need to. I'm not so strict about that, because your hair will manage, your hair will survive. And again, I think it's also the 70-30%, like what are you mostly doing that your hair is going to benefit from. I try also to keep up my greens. I'm so happy that we're finally going into like warmer summer climate, because then I can go back to having more smoothies and bigger salads. And I feel like when I eat more, when I hydrate myself internally, I can see that more in my hair. I can see it also more in my skin. So I'm happy that we're going into warmer seasons, and hopefully we'll also be more down south where the fruits and vegetables are even better for the summer. So I'm really excited about that. Eating that way and getting my chlorella in, moringa. I love moringa as well, moringa powder. That is what I do internally to help nourish myself in a way that helps my body also thrive, including my hair and my nails. Another thing is that because we've spent the colder months in south of France, it hasn't gotten too cold where I needed to wear my hat as much, my warm hat as much, which has been really nice because I haven't had my hair to dry out as much, and I haven't had to spray it either. But now I'm actually in the process of creating a new spray for the next coming season. I picked some rosemary, and I'm getting ready to make just some rosemary water just to add to a spraying bottle and to spritz it here and there, because when the sun is really hot, I can really see the difference that it also obviously dries out my hair, and I need a different approach to caring for it than when it's winter. Another thing I would like to talk about is breakage. I've actually experienced breakage on the 4th year. I started having some breakage, but mostly on my ends. And at first, the first one, I was really sad because I got attached to how long we've been in this journey together. But I also remember thinking that I wasn't as scared about maybe if my hair got to a place where I needed to repair, because I was learning how to crochet the locks back together. But honestly, as thrifty as I try to be and as very DIY and preferring to do my own hair, I haven't mastered that technique yet. So I tried, when I lost like an end of my hair, I tried to put it back and lock it back in, but it wasn't working. And then I saw other parts of my locks that had like the same length, weak spots that were falling off. First I was thinking, like, is it just my general care? Is it trying to tell me something? And I was really like worried, like what was happening? Was my hair not strong anymore? Or was I taking care of it in a way that was making it weaker? But the more I saw the patterns of the parts that were falling off or that were vulnerable and I needed to cut off, I started remembering, because it's kind of like what Gabor Mate say, like he's one of my favorite psychologists, like the body keeps the score. I think it's also fair to say that your hair also keeps the score. Just like the ends of my hair are very light brown, because when I started my locks, I was living in Lisbon and exposed to a lot of sunshine. Like I remember even the first few months I spent a lot of time going to the beach, getting my hair wet and then like drying in the sun. So it bleached my ends, and that is still part of my hair. But another thing I did a lot, if you guys remember, something that I really loved, but maybe it can be a warning for you guys if you're starting from the beginning. I used to have my hair up in a bun, and I would like have it in a pineapple kind of shape and let the rest of my hair fall. And I did that from the beginning. And I was thinking that the parts that were falling off were actually similar to when I did that style a lot. So I think that's what happened, because I lost a few, I think I would say like 4 or 3, like this kind of length, but just at the end. And then I kept looking at the rest of my hair, and there's not a lot of them that have that same area of weakness anymore. So now it's okay. And as far as reattaching them, I think I finally decided to let it be. I was like, it's okay, it's part of the story. And like I said before, like I also like that my hair is diverse in the way it looks. Like I have thinner locks, I have thick locks, and I have locks of different length now. So it creates a more diverse looking dark forest. So I'm okay with that. But that really got me thinking that, wow, like something I did such a long time ago actually has an impact. And another thing I think could be a culprit is when I have my hair down, because when like I share with you guys, like when you're wearing a hat and in the winter, and then maybe you wear like a shoulder bag, sometimes the shoulder bag is maybe going to cut exactly that length, like it might hold, and then you pull your hair out if you're not being mindful. There's all this stuff, or like zippers, like if you're wearing something with a zipper and you pull your hair back, like there's all these everyday wear that I could see how they could maybe slowly damage parts of my hair. But as far as moving forward, I think I just took it more as a lesson to be learned, and not feel too precious about my loss, even though like at first I was keeping all the parts that did fall off, and I was like, I need to find a way to reattach them, but now I don't even remember where they fell from, so that wouldn't even make sense if I tried to reattach them. So there's been that's been like the bigger thing, the bigger like worrying of what's going on. And I still keep a lot of my fuzz. I think like if you do more palm rolling, I think your hair looks more unified, and then you don't have as many fuzzies. I still have a lot of fuzzies because I only retwist at the root just to keep the hair in the lock that I want it to be, and then whatever's left I still like just wrap around it. I don't crochet my locks when I'm doing a retwist. I don't palm roll. I just on damp hair, that's all. Like it has to be after I've done a wash that I'll do the retwist. I don't use a comb, because I've also seen people who use a comb to brush first and then retwist. I don't do any of that. And I think it also shows in my locks. Like they're not the most smoothest looking locks, but I feel like they look very healthy and they look very good for the effort I put in. Another part I like to talk about is like more the spiritual intuitive connection with all of that. I shared a bit in the beginning when I started. Like for me, it was a holistic journey. It wasn't just about a hairstyle, but it was like with everything I try to do, it plays a holistically important role in my life. I try to be very intentional about the things I do, and making such a decision was obviously part of that. But I will say that I also feel, especially in the 5th year month, because I say that also in my 3rd anniversary, that this feeling of groundedness and this feeling of like just earthing. But I think what I also love about it, like, is how much it reminds me again of nature, what we belong to, and how much it works with you if you work with it. And it's a living part of you, obviously, and it responds to you as well. Everything in life is energy, and your body is also energy, and it responds to how you feel. There's all these things that I feel also show up in how we care for our hair, or what we think our hair should be, or how we think we have to present ourselves when it comes to our hair. And I feel like I found something that truly is aligned with how I feel inwardly, outwardly. I feel like my locks are really, really emphasizing that. Literally everybody's journey with locks looks so different, and everyone's approach to how they care for it and what it means to them is so different. Everybody's journey on what it is supposed to bring them is very different. I think for me, I feel still very aligned with what I wanted to have out of my locks. I just wanted to lock in some energy. I wanted to try a new hairstyle that was even more less maintenance than I was trying to do with my natural hair. And I wanted something that also had like a spiritual importance to me, and I feel like my locks are that. So I'm still very much enjoying the journey. I can't wait to see where I'll be in the next few years. So I'm excited to see, like, as it grows, how I feel. As far as things I like to explore moving forward, I was feeling tempted to consider coloring my hair, but I go back and forth, honestly. I think I'll always do that. There's a part of me is like, it's just hair, let's do it. And if I did, it would be like more like a copper kind of color. I'm still very tempted by that. There was also a part of me that was entertaining the idea of cutting bangs, but I was thinking of like layering it up somehow. That I think I might do. But let's see if I get the time and the balls, because I would definitely want to do it by myself, and I have no experience in this. So let's see. But otherwise, beyond that, there is the jewelry. I think I do try to wear jewelries here and there. I love a good scarf. I'm a scarf girly. I'm gonna look for more scarves this summer. There's nothing better than a little scarf and a little outfit. Like, so I still really love scarves. I bought some jewelry last year and I use it here and there, but not that much, honestly. But I am looking into beads. So there's still a lot of things to explore, like slow and steady, that I'm getting curious about. But like I always say, the hair by itself is already doing enough, and I'm already very grateful for it as it is. So there's not much want there. It's more like curiosity. What if, you know? I have 152 locks, and my hair is obviously 4C at the end of the kinky hair. So and I think like that affects a lot of things, like how your hair locks, how it drops, and how it grows. I still love that there's still a lot of like loose hair at the top of my head. Thought that would go away, but it hasn't. And parts of my ends are also still not fully locked, which is also nice. There was a time where I also liked to comb them out, but I haven't done that in a long time. So a lot of them have kind of locked as well. But maybe if I do more layers, I will comb it out so it looks more organic, because I don't like the cut flat look. I want it always to have like little ends, like it does naturally. So that's all I wanted to share with you on our 5-year update. I hope it's been of benefit. I hope you're enjoying your journey. I hope you're making it unique to you and you're not comparing it to anybody else, because all our hair is different, and all our contexts of caring for our hair, our genetics are different, and everybody's hair is going to look different when you lock it. But I love the journey it invites you on of self-discovery, self-acceptance, and self-celebration. So I hope that you are enjoying your journey regardless of what that looks like. Thank you for watching. I wish you a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
Il fait toujours beau au-dessus des nuages, et moi si j'étais un oiseau, j'irais danser sous l'orage, je traverserai les nuages comme le fait la lumière, j'écoute.